Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Girivardhari Gopi Ganavala Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yamunatira Vanatari Yamunatira Vanatari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prabhaja Kachor, Vishnuttara Satya Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace, H.P. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantapati Vaishnavindi Ki Jai, Samprat Kumar Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the Sammadavati, all glories to the Guru and to Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No, I wanted to ask you one thing.
Sorry?
You know, Siddharth is one of the boys.
I don't realize.
Siddharth is one of the boys. He's here this morning. He came a couple of years ago. He's already pretty thin. But now he looks like he's just thinner and thinner all the time. I mean, I'm a little worried about everything. Like, I'll just point him out to take a look at him. He seems like he's only about 100 pounds or so. He's about this tall. I don't know what that is.
Something might have happened.
I don't know. He said I asked him today and he said it was okay, but take a look at him.
Somebody has taken the book from me.
The book's not.
It's kind of.
Maybe it's unbelievable.
What kind of? Something else.
I'll tell you later after it's something I'm a little concerned about. When's canceled?
You got it? It was here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 I think we had 30.
30 was done. I think I did know.
Okay.
I need to put it on.
That's what I think that's what
Yeah.
maybe I'll probably.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yes.
Want to get it on your phone?
Yeah, 7:4.
Somebody has to respond.
Yes, please. Yes, Brahmana.
You don't need it on that screen. Just on your phone for yourself.
7:4:31:32. Okay, I will decide from this phone.
I'm going to read through 31 and then we'll do 32 responsively. Brahmanya Shila Sampanna
Brahmanya Shila Sampanna
Satya Sandho Jitendriya
Satya Sandho Jitendriya
Atmavat Sarva Bhutana
Sarva Bhutana
Ekapriya Suhritamaha.
Ekapriya Suhritama.
Okay, 32. Dasavat Sanatar Jangri
Dasavat Santyangri
Pitrivad Dinavatsala
Pitrivat Dinavatsala
Patrivat Sadrishesnigto
Bhatrivat Satrishe Snigdha
Gurushu Ishvara Bhavanaha
Gurushu Ishvara Bhavanaha
Vidyatarupa Janmajo
Vidyatarupa Janmajo
Manastamba Vivarjita
Manastamba Vivarjita
Dasavat Sanatar Yangri
दासवत्सन्त्याय अङ्घ्रिः
Pitrivat Dinavatsala
पितृवत् दीनवत्सलः
Ratrivat Sadrishe Snigdho
भ्रातृवत् सदृशे स्निग्धो
Gurushu Ishvara Bhavana
गुरुषु ईश्वरभावनः
Vidyartharupa Janmajo
विद्यान्तरूपजन्माद्यो
Manastamba Vivarjita
मानस्तम्भविवर्जितः
Dasavatsanacharyangri
दासवत्सन्त्याय अङ्घ्रिः
Pitrivat Dinavatsala
पितृवत् दीनवत्सलः
Partrivat Sadrishe Snigdho Gurushu Ishvara Bhavana
गुरुषु ईश्वरभावनः
Vidyartharupa Janmajo
विद्यान्तरूपजन्माद्यो
Manasamba Vivarjita
मानस्तम्भविवर्जितः दासवत्सन्त्याय
Sanatangri
पितृवत्
Pitrivat
दीनवत्सलः
Dinavatsala
सदृशे स्निग्धो
Partrivat Snigdho
ईश्वर भावनः
Gurushu Ishvara Bhavana
विद्यार्थरूप जन्माद्यो
Vidyartharupa Janmajo
स्तम्भाविवर्जितः
Manasamba Vivarjita
ब्राह्मण्यशीलसम्पन्नः सत्यसन्धो
Satyasandha
आत्मवत् सर्वभूतानां एक प्रिय सुहृत्तमा
Ekapriya Suritsattama
दासवत्सन्त्याङ्घ्री
Sāsavadhanatājamri
पितृवदीनवत्सलः
Vidyavadinavatsala
भ्रातृवत्सदृशे स्निग्धो
Bhaktivadsadrishe Snigdho
गुरुषु ईश्वरभावनः
Gurushuishvarabhavana
विद्यार्थरूपजन्माढ्यो
Vyatarupa Janmadya
मानस्तम्भविवर्जितः
Manastamba Vivarjita
ब्रह्मण्याशिल संपन्न
Brahmanya Sila Sambhava
सत्यसंरोजितेन्द्रियः
Satyasandha Jitandriya
आत्मवत् सर्वभूतानां
Atmavad Sarvabhutana
एकप्रियाशुभिक्षमः
Ekapriya Suritsattama
दासवत् सन्तनानङ्घे
Dasavatsantagri
पितृवत् दीनवत्सलः
Pitrivadinavatsala
भातृवत् सदृशो स्निग्धो
Patrivatsadrishe Snigdho
गुरुषु ईश्वरभावनः
Gurushuishvarabhavana
विद्यार्थरूपजन्माद्यो
Vidyatarupa Janmadya
मानस्तम्भविवर्जितः
मानस्तम्भविवर्जितः
Brahmanya
ब्रह्मण्य
cultured as a good brahmana
cultured as a good brahmana
Shila Sampanana
शीलसम्पन्नः
possessing all good qualities
possessing all
good qualities
Satyasandha
सत्यसन्धो
determined to understand the absolute truth
determined to understand the absolute truth
Chitta Indriya
Jitendriya
fully controlling the senses
fully controlling the senses
and mind
and mind
mind
Atmavat
Atmavat
like the super soul
like the super soul
Sarvabhutana
Sarvabhutana
of all living entities
of all living entities
Ekapriya
Ekapriya
the one beloved
the one beloved
Suritamaha
Suhritama
the best friend
the best friend
Dasava
Dasavat
like a menial servant
like a obedient servant
Sanata
Santata
always obedient
always obedient
Arya Angri
Adi
at the lotus feet of great persons
at the lotus feet of great person
Pitrivat
Pitrivat
exactly like a father
exactly like a father
Dinavatsala
Dinavatsala
kind to the poor
kind to the poor
Ratrivat
Bhaktivat
exactly like a brother
exactly like a brother
Sadrishe
Sadrishe
to his equals
to his equals
Snigdha
Snigdha
very affectionate
very affectionate
Gurushu
Gurushu
unto the spiritual master,
unto the spiritual master,
Ishvara Bhavana,
Bhavana,
who considered exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
who considered exactly like the Supreme Personality of God,
Vidya,
Vidya,
education,
education,
Artha,
Artha,
riches,
riches,
Rupa,
Rupa,
beauty,
beauty,
Janma,
Janma,
aristocracy or nobility,
aristocracy or nobility,
Adya,
Adya,
endowed with,
endowed with
Mana,
Mana,
pride,
pride,
Stamba,
Stamba,
impudence, Devajita, completely free from.
completely free from.
Translation. The qualities of Maharaj Prahlad, the son of Hiranyakashipu, are described herewith. He was completely cultured as a qualified Brahmana, having very good character and being determined to understand the absolute truth. He had full control of his senses and mind. Like the super soul, he was kind to every living entity and was the best friend of everyone. To respectable persons, he acted exactly like a menial servant. To the poor, he was like a father. To his equals, he was attached like a sympathetic brother. And he considered his teachers, spiritual masters, and older god brothers to be as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was completely free from unnatural pride that might have arisen from his good education, riches, beauty, aristocracy, and so on. The qualities of Maharaj Prahlad,
The qualities of Maharaj Prahlad,
the son of
the
Hiranyakashipu,
son of Hiranyakashipu,
are described herewith.
are described herewith.
He was completely cultured
He was completely cultured
as a qualified Brahmana,
as a qualified Brahmana,
having very good character
having very good character,
and being determined
and being determined
to understand the absolute truth.
to understand the absolute truth.
He had full control of his senses
He had full control of his senses
and mind.
and mind.
Like the super soul,
Like the super soul,
he was kind to every living entity
he was kind to every living entity,
and was the best friend of everyone.
and was the best friend of everyone.
To respectable persons,
He was a respectable person.
he acted exactly like a menial servant.
He acted exactly like a menial servant.
To the poor, he was like a father.
To the poor, he was like a father.
To his equals, he was attached,
To his equals, he was attached.
like a sympathetic brother.
Like a sympathetic brother.
And he considered his teachers,
And he considered his teachers,
spiritual masters,
spiritual master,
and older god brothers
and older God
to be as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
to be as good as the Supreme Personality of God.
He was completely free
He was completely free
from unnatural pride
from unnatural pride
that might have arisen
that might have arisen
from his good education,
from his education,
riches, beauty, aristocracy, and so on.
and so on.
Prabhupada's purport. These are some of the qualifications of a Vaishnava. Vaishnava is automatically a Brahmin because a Vaishnava has all the good qualities of a Brahmana. Shamo damas tapaksham chantir arjavam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahmakarma savajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. These are the qualities by which the Brahmanas work. Bhagavad Gita 18:42. These qualities are manifest in the body of a Vaishnava. Therefore, a perfect Vaishnava is also a perfect Brahmana, as indicated here by the words Brahmanya Shila Sampanna. A Vaishnava is always determined to understand the absolute truth. And to understand the absolute truth, one needs to have full control over his senses and mind. Prahlad Maharaj possessed all these qualities. A Vaishnava is always a well-wisher to everyone. The 6 Goswamis, for example, are described in this way. They were popular with both the gentle and the ruffians. A Vaishnava must be equal to everyone, regardless of one's position. Atmavat. A Vaishnava should be like Paramatma. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridesha Junitishtati. Paramatma does not hate anyone. Indeed, he is in the heart of the Brahmana, but he is also even in the heart of a pig. As the moon never refuses to distribute its pleasing rays even to the home of a Chandala, a Vaishnava never refuses to act for everyone's welfare. Therefore, a Vaishnava is always obedient to the spiritual master, Arya. The word Arya refers to one who is advanced in knowledge. One who is deficient in knowledge cannot be called an Arya. At the present, however, the word Arya is used to refer to those who are godless. This is the unfortunate situation of Kali Yuga. The word Guru refers to the spiritual master who initiates his disciple into advancement in the science of Krishna or Krishna consciousness, as stated by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Shri Bhagavan Mantro Padeshake Gurav Iti Artha. Om again to understand, Chaksha Uttamina, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam, Sapitam Nina Bhuttale, Swayam Rupa Kadamayam, Shadati Svaparantikam, Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Juta Kamalam, Shri Guru Vaishnavam, Shri Rupam Sarvitatam, Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam, Sadvitam Sadvitam, Paritana Sritam Krishna Chaitanya Devam, Shri Radha Krishna Pada, Sahagana Radhita Shri Vishakam Vitam, He Krishna Karuna Sindhu, Dinabandha Jagatpate, Gopesha Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta Namostute, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhana Sute Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye, Vanchakapachurubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu Vihevascha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnarebhyo, Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasudeva Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, that begins the purport by talking about qualifications of a Vaishnava. And was in the verse that he was completely cultured as a qualified Brahmin, having very good character, etc. And so Brahmana, we don't get into the cultural Vaishnava, cultural Brahmana very much in ISKCON. We do emphasize Brahminical qualities, as Prabhupada does here, quoting 1842 by in the Bhagavad Gita: peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. These are the qualities by which the Brahmins were. So Prabhupada quotes this verse very frequently and refers to the qualities of a Brahmin. Of course, when Prabhupada started ISKCON, there no understanding of what Brahmin is. The only conception we had of Brahmin before the devotees met Prabhupada was that it's the caste system is a bad thing, and nobody knew anything about India or Vedic culture. But the only thing we knew was that the caste system is bad. And the people would be happy if they ate meat because they'd have more to eat because they're starving. And they should, instead of letting the cows walk on the road, they should kill the cows and eat them. These are like the only things that was like common knowledge. It's crazy knowledge, but the common understanding of India and the United States. And of course, those are all. And if the cat, of course, the the stuff about killing the cow and not eating meat is just insane. But but nobody knew that. Everybody was raised eating meat, and almost everybody, like 99.9% of the people. And but the thing about the caste consciousness, that was a legitimate thing. If caste culture is misused, as everything is in Kali Yuga, everything becomes misused, including religion, including the caste system. And when it's misused, then it does become very detrimental. But so Prabhupada, the whole purpose of the caste system is by quality and work. Krishna established it in 4 castes, 4 divisions of human society, according to their qualities and work, and not according to birth. Prabhupada makes that point very, very frequently. He talks about this at length in many, many places, how anyone can become a guru, anyone can become a Brahmin or a Vaishnava just by surrendering to bona fide spiritual master and disciplic succession. Anybody, Sudra, Chandala, less than Sudra, can become more than a Brahmin. The verse he quotes very frequently is what's the one about the different countries and Kirata and Pulinda Pokasha Virya Shamba Yavana Kashade Ene Chupapa Yadapasha Shujanti Tasmani Prabha Vishnu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
I finally remembered a verse. So, and Prabhupada makes this point time after time after time after time in his lectures, in his purports, in room conversations, that the material birth doesn't matter. As long as you take to Krishna consciousness. If you don't take to Krishna consciousness and become an actual qualified Brahmin, an actual qualified Vaishnava, then whatever birth you're born into and the habits and the culture that you absorb, and then it is, it is like a significant thing, or like it's like, people like in the United States, people who act like Americans without any Vaishnava culture, Krishna conscious culture, then you say, yeah, you're just a typical American, crazy, all kinds of bad habits, ways of thinking, etc. And then it's significant. But as soon as the Americans or anyone else in the world takes to Krishna consciousness, then they still have, all of us, we still have our bad habits from our upbringing, or cultural, cultural stuff that's all a lot of mostly garbage and detrimental to advance spiritual life. We still have all that, but we know that it's not good, that we have to rise above that and become actual Vaishnavas, actual Brahmins in thought, word, and deed. And we do. The process of Krishna consciousness is so purifying. Devotees all over the world, from whatever background, they become Brahmins, they become Vaishnavas, which is above the Brahmin. Brahmin is good. They have Brahminical qualities, but you have to be more than just a Brahmin. you have to be a Vaishnava. And Brahminical qualities will automatically develop in a sincere, dedicated Vaishnava. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, wisdom, knowledge, and religiousness. Those qualities will automatically develop or be these qualities in any sincere devotee. And we see from our experience that all these qualities do become manifest more and more and more. So these qualities are manifest in the body of a Vaishnava. Therefore, a perfect Vaishnava is also a perfect Brahmana, as indicated here by the words Brahmanya Shila Sampanna. A Vaishnava is always determined to understand the absolute truth. And to understand the absolute truth, one needs to have full control over the senses of the mind. Devotees in general, everyone in Kali Yuga has very little control over the senses and the mind. The senses are always the mind is the sixth sense, and all the other senses are centered, grouped around the mind. The senses can't act unless the mind is guiding, directing the senses. So the senses are automatically grouped around the mind. And Prabhupada taught from the very beginning, the process of Krishna consciousness is just to engage the senses in Krishna's service, to start chanting Hare Krishna with the tongue, start taking Krishna prasadam, and use your hands, your arms, your body for cleaning the temple of Krishna. Use your mind for reading the Bhagavad Gita as it is and for going out to preach. Use all your senses in the service of Krishna, and then automatically the senses will be under control, and the mind will come under control. And of course, the essential, not immediately essential, but eventually or soon, Prabhupada gave it wasn't long before he gave the 4 regulative principles: no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling, which automatically controls the conditioned soul in so many ways. As soon as you start following the regulative principles and using all your time and energy and all your senses in the service of Krishna, then the mind and senses are automatically controlled. And of course, you have to exert your will. It's not automatic in the same sense as touching something on your computer or pressing a key and automatically, not something, or turning the key in your car, or pressing the button and automatically the car starts. And not automatic in that sense, but automatic because the process begins, or the engine starts, and it keeps running by the constant and ongoing application of mind and intelligence, and using your senses, our senses, in the service of Krishna. But so it's automatic in that sense, that all the good results of all the good manifestation of Brahminical qualities, advancement in devotional service will come automatically by our determination to be devotees, to engage in Krishna's service. And the verse says, having very good character and being determined to understand the absolute truth. he had full control of his senses and his mind. But he wouldn't have had full control of his senses and his mind if he wasn't determined to understand the absolute truth. So that's why it's called Krishna consciousness. Everything is based on our determination. Like if you're sitting in a class at MIT or Northeastern or IIT, and you pay very good attention, and then you can easily, with effort, you can easily absorb the knowledge that's being transmitted. But and because you're determined, I have to do good here. I have to pay attention. So because you're determined, you understand the importance of it. From the material point of view, we consider it important to get the education, to get the money. We think it's important. So because we think it's important, we have some determination to pay attention and do good on exams, et cetera, et cetera. And so because you're determined. So it's the same in Krishna consciousness, because because you understand the importance of Krishna consciousness. I've been suffering in the material world for so long, so many millions of births, trying to enjoy my senses, and as a result, and enjoy separately from Krishna, in an envious position of Krishna. Now I want to be a devotee, so I understand how important it is. Ultimately, it's the only important thing, but we take it there are other things, but as devotees, we understand, everyone understands that our progress in Krishna consciousness is really ultimately the only thing that matters. And so we do it. We go to the morning program and serve a spiritual master and take initiation and study the Shastras. We do everything with determination because we understand that it's important, that we have to do it. And it's crucial. It's the essence of our existence. It's the meaning of life. So it's what the birth in the human species of life is specifically meant for. So we do it with determination. And then the senses and the mind can come under control as a automatic, in that sense, result of the determination to be Krishna conscious. Prabhupada named it Krishna consciousness for a reason, because everything depends on consciousness. What do you want to think about? Everyone has a choice at every second of every day. What are you going to think about now? And ordinarily the mind is dragged here and there by the senses. It's compared to a man who has many six different wives, and each wife is saying, "Come with me, come with me, come with me, come with me." And the mind is that's the comparison of the living entity in material consciousness. When eyes are saying, "Look over here," and the ears are saying, "Listen to that," and this tongue is saying, "Take me to that restaurant," and all the senses are dragging us in different directions. But in decide to become a devotee, it's a conscious decision. Nobody becomes a devotee. It's a causeless mercy. It's Krishna's mercy, and Krishna is definitely trying very hard to influence us to surrender to him. He's doing his best to say, "Come with me, think of me, surrender to me, be my devotee." He's trying really hard. But we have to, each individual soul we have to make our own choice. Yes, okay, I want to be your devotee. I'm going to surrender to you. That's my decision. And then Krishna gives all kinds of help at every moment from so many directions in the heart as the super soul from within and without, from the other devotees, from all kinds of directions. Krishna helps us at every second to surrender, to be Krishna conscious, to think of him. And here, go to the kitchen and cook. Okay, I'll go to the kitchen and cook. And that means thinking of Radharani and Krishna on the altar. And here, go out and distribute books. And you can't go out and distribute books unless you're very Krishna conscious. That I'm doing this, it's very difficult, but I'm going out to distribute these books because my spiritual master wants me to, Prabhupada wants me to, and therefore, so I'm going to do it. And but it's difficult. But that's so you have to think of Krishna. Here, sweep and mop the floor. Sweepanam Mapanam Vishnu Arjuna. One of the verses in my Bhagavad. And
No, this is Shavanam Kirtanam Vishnu.
Sweepanam Mapanam.
Shavanam Kirtanam.
No, that's the alternate verse.
Oh, no.
So you sweep and mop Krishna's floor, you have to think of Krishna. Why am I doing this? I didn't sweep and mop the floor before I was a devotee. Somebody else did that. And now I'm sweeping and mopping the floor. I'm washing pots. Why am I doing these things? Because Krishna wants me to. So Krishna consciousness is automatic in that sense, and all the good results of serving Krishna, controlling the senses, controlling the mind, all the good results of Krishna consciousness come automatically. You develop all the good qualities of the demigods. Whereas, even if you're not Krishna conscious, then there's no good qualities. A pretty extreme statement, and we do recognize some good qualities in some people, but all in materialists, if they have some, the Kali Yuga is really bad, but it's not that all human qualities, all gentle qualities, or all godly qualities are completely wiped out from the human species. At the end of Kali Yuga, it gets so bad that there's no possibility of preaching or anyone understanding Krishna consciousness anymore. So Kalki comes and cuts off everyone's heads. But at the present time, Kali Yuga isn't so advanced that there's nothing left. There's still, there's still some good feelings, good intentions, good qualities in that sense in many human beings, and that's why we can appeal to people on that basis, because there is still some tendency to worship God and to become actually more human, more civilized, more, yeah. So we have to control our senses, our mind, and become Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness. Anyone have anything? Any comments or questions? Yeah.
So that analogy was very nice. That just like we put our attention into our studies and
Yeah.
MIT, Harvard, because we think it's important.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why not put our attention and energy in Krishna consciousness?
Yeah.
And if we don't put our attention and energy in Krishna consciousness, that means we are somewhere inside. We are not considering it.
Yeah, there's some lack I mean, we all have lacking in us, or, to some extent, the material conditioning, desire to enjoy separately from Krishna, to some extent, that's still in all the devotees. It's not that all of that gets wiped away immediately, but it does over the course of time. And the main thing is that you've understood that it's a problem. You first have to understand the problem. I have a problem, and I know what the problem is. A doctor tells a patient, you got to change this, you got to change that in your habits, in your behavior, in your diet. You got to change these things because they're causing, those bad things are causing this disease. So it's good. If you listen to your doctor and take it seriously, then you understand. I have this problem because of this, and this. It's a problem. I have to do something about the problem. And that's a huge step. You have to take, and we're all definitely at that point. We all know what the problems are. It's not hidden. It's all over the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam and Prabhupada's purports and the lectures, your spiritual master. It becomes very clear and obvious what our problems are. And it's also clear and obvious what the solution to the problems are. So that's the crucial thing. You gotta know that you got a problem, and then you can do something, and you got to know what this solution to the problem is, and then you got to act on that, and that's what we do in Krishna consciousness. We act on the solution more and more and more and more and more over the course of time. Just one other thing at the end of this verse is Prahlad Maharaj. He was completely free from unnatural pride that might have arisen, good education, riches, beauty, aristocracy, and so on. And the conditioned soul is I'm rich, I'm good looking, I have a good education, I'm from an aristocratic or rich family, and I'm pretty good. Look at me, and that's like everyone in the material world who has some kind of material opulence like that. Everyone has that, but the devotees don't, or at least we know that we shouldn't. And even Krishna and the gopis in Rasa Lila, even when they became they were thinking, we're the most fortunate girls in the universe, and they are. But when Krishna saw, Krishna knows the heart of everyone, and when he saw that the gopis were a little bit proud, then he changed. Prabhupada says when Krishna sees, he doesn't like to see pride in his devotees. As soon as he sees that, he changes his attitude towards them so that they come free from, they can understand that was bad, that was proud. So of course the gopis is a very special case, but Prabhupada does say that in the Rasa Lila portion of the Srimad Krishna book. And so, so in our practice of Krishna consciousness, you might be better at memorizing verses, or a better cook, or better pujari, or better at this, or better at that than another devotee. And if you can do something really good, make a flower garland, or sweep the floor, then you should say, "Oh, good, I'm glad I can do this nicely because Krishna is pleased." But almost automatically, I know in my mind, and in the heart, in the mind of the conditioned soul, generally, along with that, the thinking, yes, I can see I'm doing a pretty good job at that. You are doing a good job at it. Very, very good. But generally, along with that comes in the mind, is very, and you can see it I see it in myself. You can see that as soon as you think like that, then along with that comes, yes, and actually I'm better at it than she is, or I'm better at it than this other devotee is. So as soon as you think like that, then that's bad. Krishna doesn't like that. It's okay if you think like, hey, that garland turned out pretty good. I'm happy. My spiritual master will be pleased. Krishna will be pleased. I'm happy. But when the other thing comes, as it often does, I'm happy. I did a good job, and I'm better than her at it. I'm better than him at it. Then that that's something you don't want. That's something Krishna doesn't want. I asked Satsvarup Maharaj a few years ago. I said, like when a little kid learns to ride his bike or swim for the first time or do anything, like a 3-year-old, 4-year-old kid, and they learn to do something like ride a bike. And they say, look, Mom, look, Mommy, I'm riding a bike. And, they're happy, they're proud, they're a little proud of themselves. And I asked Satsvarup Maharaj, I said, is that kind of thinking okay? He's just an innocent little kid. He's just happy. I learned to ride a bike. And I said, is that kind of thinking okay for a devotee? Like, oh, look, I learned how to make this prep in the kitchen and the drink came out good. Yeah. And he said, that's okay, a little bit, but you don't get into it. It's like an automatic response. They say, "Wow, look, Mom, I'm riding a bike." And if you didn't think like that or say that, you'd be like a robot. But don't get into it too much. All glorious to you.
Govinda Hari Purusha Aham Bhajami Govinda Hari Purusha Aham Bhajami Govinda Hari Purusha Aham Bhajami Hari Purusha